Welcome back, everybody, to the Purdue Boilermakers Dynasty season number 2 about to get underway. And we're going to jump pretty much right into it. We're going to set up our recruiting board, which we already have some prospects on our board. We're going to do some scouting, get into week number, 0. Now, last year when it came to recruiting, as we're going to go through all these players here, Nicholas Shelley, 4-star halfback out of Indiana. I didn't really have much of a strategy, and that was probably my real problem. Just going into the game, not really strategizing what I wanted to do. So this year, taking a look at the positions we need, which is a lot. It is a lot of positions that we totally need. And I think this first week, obviously, we're just going to use all the hours to scout out, honestly. But if there's something I don't like, I am going to probably take these guys off the board immediately. I don't want to waste any more hours with some of these guys. The other thing I really didn't look at last year a lot of the time, which was totally my mistake, obviously, looking at our pipeline states, like how many do we have of, going after guys that just, that we should have never really targeted in the first place. And then also looking more into their deal breakers. I think that's one thing I kind of overlooked as well, is the deal breakers obviously are a huge deal. I mean, if you don't match their needs, they're going to not be able to, they're not going to stay, they're not going to, even if you recruit them, they might leave after the first year. So I want to look more into that, make sure we can easily fill that year after year. Sometimes the different positions with playing time I think will be absolutely fine, but some other positions where you want that championship contender, there is no way we're going to be able to fill that within the first couple years of this dynasty. I just don't see it. Unless we go on some sort of crazy run, I just don't think that is totally going to happen at all. So things like that, going to pay attention a lot more to, going to be definitely, probably writing some notes on the side for sure into recruiting, because I don't want it to happen like we did with season number 1, where we only got maybe, 5 or 6 freshmen, the rest from the portal. I don't want that to happen again. So we're really going to crack down on recruiting this year, and hopefully we have a better class. We get a lot more incoming freshmen, and hopefully all these freshmen decide to stay. I mean, that could be a huge thing too. Like I said, with the portal this year and everything, there could be guys that will leave. Still looking for our first gem, though. We haven't fully scouted everybody yet, but definitely going to concentrate on offensive line for sure. Definitely going to concentrate. I think running back is going to be a huge deal next year, trying to upgrade those skill positions to compete with teams like Ohio State, who just absolutely railroaded us last year, losing our last 5 games of the season. There you go. Everett Keenan, tackle. He's a gem. We'll offer the scholarship there. Hopefully that can work out. Yeah, we got to build up this offensive line. We got to be able to compete with those big schools for sure. Like I said, bringing in those top guys. And we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback for sure. Maybe Ben Washington, the freshman we brought in this past year, maybe he is the answer. We'll absolutely see about that. I know his development trait is only a normal, but, maybe he can improve and he can play very, very well for us. So hopefully that'll be the answer, because we need something. That is for sure. We need something. So we got 160 hours left here, so let's just go down below. So J.J. Story, archetype is a speedster, 70 catching so far. Has a, clear-headed mentals. Isaiah Null, another speedster, 86 speed, which I think is decent speed. I know that, you're not going to find the guys with like 98 speed anymore. It's just not going to happen. Now, Theo Gammon, quarterback out of New Jersey. Good mental so far, and he's a gem as well. And obviously with the gems, I think I'm going to move them to the top of the board and concentrate on them to try to, get them in here as well. I mean, we're going to need quarterbacks, because right now, what do we only have? I think 3 on the roster. So we'll have to add a quarterback as well. With Taj Bullock, who comes over in the portal last year, this previous offseason, he's a senior, so he'll be leaving. So we'll definitely, even with Ben Washington maybe taking over the helm, we'll still need some quarterbacks back there. And you never know with quarterbacks how things are going to turn out. You think it could be somebody you've scouted very, very well, and it just doesn't work at all. What do we got? That's going to pretty much do us for hours this week. So there's a few guys. Look at this guy right here. Breeze, we'll have to take a look at him. I don't know, Drew Breeze, come on. You want to, maybe he's, part of the family. Come on over. We'll see. But we're going to have to look at these guys here next week. But yeah, Dorian Breeze, 4-star defensive tackle. I would love to bring him in. just continue to add talent as much as possible. So that is the initial phase. We only have 24 targets at the moment, which I'm perfectly fine with. Take a look at the schedule. We're going to take on Rice. I saw a comment, maybe one of the first videos. Thought it'd be funny, you know, Purdue, chicken, rice, chicken and rice. Yeah, that's whatever. We're going to do it. Rice in week 0, Marshall, and then Notre Dame in week number 4. And then we get into the Big Ten. Washington, Maryland, Wisconsin. But look at so many home games, and then all of a sudden you just hit the road. At UCLA, at Iowa, come back home from Minnesota, but then at Penn State, Happy Valley, at Illinois, at Indiana. That is a rough stretch there, taking on, 5 out of your last 6 games are on the road. That is absolutely insane. Down the stretch is going to be a tough schedule. It could be kind of like this past season, in season number 1, where we start off so well, but then you get down to the heavy part of the schedule. It's going to be rough. Now, we don't take on Michigan or Ohio State this year, but you take on Penn State, the defending national champions. So that is going to be an interesting one on the road. But if we can get better this year, if we can at least get to a bowl, maybe 7-8 wins, I think I'd be absolutely happy with that. That would be just to continue to show that improvement, show the improvement with the recruiting process and bringing a lot more prospects this year than we did last year. I think we'll be definitely on the right track for sure. Even though this year, we'll see. I think we've downgraded in talent a little bit, but, I think we can definitely change some playbook options, change some styles up, and just do things a little bit differently in games than we did. And we'll see. Maybe somebody jumps out of nowhere and just plays like an animal this year. Hopefully that works out. So Fabian, what'd you say, Kite? That name, that's obviously not Knight, but Kite, I guess, with the, looks solid. Mario Caraway, speed rusher out of Cleveland, Ohio. 84 acceleration, 71 finesse moves, 70 pursuits. Let's offer him a scholarship. Here is Dorian Breeze, 4-star. I mean, with the name, come on, man. We're just going to offer him the scholarship, obviously. We got, 260 hours left. 90 strength, so I already like it. We're looking good already. But look at the schools we're going to have to compete with. So what we might have to do with Breeze, I'm thinking, some of these guys that I'm going to top prioritize, we're probably just going to have to send the house, which will take up, decent amount of hours since we only have 450. Now, Nathaniel Brazel, he is a bust. We'll just take him off the board. Now, even if some guys are a bust, I'm still going to take a look at the attributes because the position we are in as a school, I still will take bust, even though the developmental trait will not be the greatest. If he's already looking solid, like an 80 overall, I will absolutely take that. So I know I just took him off the board, but I think I still want to I have to take a look just to see if we're going to keep these guys on the board or not. Right now at 185 hours. So I'd like to I'm not prioritizing yet. I know we're only in week 0, but I think after this week, we'll really start to prioritize and see who, like I said, we want to put into maybe send the house, contact friends and family, certain positions. I mean, corner for me is absolutely big. We have to get better in the secondary. I mean, we kind of got torched last year in those big games in the secondary, losing a lot of 50-50 balls, so we definitely have to improve. I thought our pass rushing was very solid up front, but linebacker play, it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but in the secondaries where we really need to improve and have a lot of depth there. If we're going to be pretty much in nickel most of the time and then go to a dime, and then you're, like I said, Ohio State, just facing a school like that is going to be rough. Year after year, they're just going to have outstanding NFL talent wide receivers, and you're going to have to put almost NFL-type talent corners out there to cover them. And you're probably going to play a lot of man-to-man coverage and just do whatever you can do. So we got to upgrade that position. Let's do contact friends and family and him for right now. But I think after this coming up week, we'll see where we land. And then we're definitely probably going to get into send the house for sure. And obviously looking at the bar, like some guys, he's already close to the top 5. So you just got to be a little bit closer with that. JJ Story, we're nearing the top 8. Got 10 hours left. See if we can maybe, do we do it at a scholarship possibly? Offer a scholarship here. We already have 2 of his motivations. Let's offer a scholarship, so that'll give us something. We have 5 hours left. And we'll put it in the Theo Gammon. And I'll rearrange this board a little bit. I'll probably add him up there as well since we know he is a gem. All right. That'll finish off the recruiting here for week number 0. Unless we want to change some things up. But I think we're good. I think we're good there. That'll finish that up. And we'll get into this game against Rice. Take on Rice. We are the favorites, obviously. Rice, not a very highly rated team. I think they're a 64 overall. So we're going to get into this game. Hopefully we'll see some, see what Taj Bullock, and I will get Ben Washington into the game here, the freshman quarterback, and see how this defense works. No more CJ Nunnally. He is not here anymore. Maybe Sean Seabrooks takes over. Let's get this one underway. First game of season number 2. And we're probably just going to get into one game here today. Usually I've been doing 2, which we will do going forward, but just because it's, you know, game 1 of the season, we're going to stick with this. Is Devontae Fitzpatrick, quarterback out of Georgia, gets into this Rice offense, and here we go. They start at the 25-yard line. They're going to toss this ball, but going absolutely nowhere. Man, Marquise Nicholas comes through for the tackle for loss. And a 3rd and 21. They're just going to pitch it, and Nicholas is all over it again. He is flying around the field with the tackle for loss. That's already just like that, 2 tackles for loss. And that'll be a 3 and out as Caden Fagan comes over from Illinois in the transfer portal. He is now our back. Here comes Taj Bullock. A little bit new offense here. Changed up the playbook a little bit. And there is another guy that comes over from the portal, Theo Melanorstrom. So we definitely hit the portal very, very well. But on 3rd and 9, that's going to be Jenkins coming through to bring down Bullock. And that drive will stall. Back to this Rice offense. 2nd and 3, up the middle. A lot of running room for Quentin Jackson. He's up the middle for a first down. His first carry for down 21 yards. 2nd and 10. They go now QB Reed. And that's going to be Fitzpatrick with some room to run. He gets upended and a little bit shaken up. So they'll go to the backup quarterback here. 2nd and 12. He's going to keep it triple option here to the outside. But look who's all over it again. Nicholas again. He is all over the field here today. 3rd and 12. They're going to run it on 3rd and 12. Quentin Jackson's going nowhere. And that's Smiley Bradford, the safety that comes up. I'm not sure why you're running it on 3rd and 12, not trusting your quarterback at all. It's Fagan, not much there. It's only 3 carries, 7 yards here so far. 2nd and 8. Bullock to throw over the middle. There you go. That is caught. First down. We're going to try to utilize these tight ends a little more. We brought in, 5 tight ends in the portal. We're going to try to utilize most of them, getting maybe a little bit more 2 tight end sets this year. 2nd and 3. Going up top. Looking for one-on-one, and Nitro Tuggle brings it down. Just enough speed to outrun the corner. Hopefully he has a really big season, getting more playing time this year. He really turned out to be maybe the top receiver on this team last year. We're down to the 3. We hand this off to Caden Fagan, and he's in for the touchdown. First one of the season. Hopefully many more of those to come this year, and gives us a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. All right, we head into the second. Rice, they have just decided to continue run the ball here. Finally throwing the ball, and it's not going to work out. Sean Seabrooks with the big-time sack. A 3rd and 20 now. Hopefully Seabrooks has a very good season, as they will just run it to the outside. Broken 1 tackle, but we are all over it. This defense is flying around the ball, looking solid. Now, I know this Rice team doesn't have a lot of talent, but we're looking solid defensively. Kind of looked like this last year. That was a heck of a catch by Nitro Tuggle, but it is not going to count. That is going to be a holding call. That'll knock us back. Fenimore with the holding call. 3rd and 20. Bullock back to throw. Looking. Going up top, and this one's going to be overthrown, incomplete. I have been messing with some sliders a little bit as well. If so, I'll have to check. I'm not sure if I'll have I'm still working on them. As Nicholas is, that's his 3rd tackle for loss already in this game. You know, with sliders, like I've said before, you just have to be careful with them. As around the edge, what a move there by Jackson. And he's got the first down and more. And really, when it comes to slider sets, really you can't just get one game in. You have to do multiple games at a time. You're going to play different opponents. It's going to be different styles. You just really have to see how it works out. So maybe after the first couple of games, I can get into what sliders I'm really using. As around the edge, not this time. Jackson's going to be stuffed. Nicholas is there again. He has been all over the place. And Rice is going to go for it here on 4th down. 4th and 4. They're actually going to throw the ball. Going up top, one-on-one, overthrown, incomplete, and a turnover on downs. I have like a mixture of sliders between a couple different guys. So, and most slider sets, a lot of the time, you can go with a base set, and really, it's up to how you play the game. You just have to figure it out a lot of times yourself. Just don't crazy adjust things. That would be my advice to anybody with sliders. That's a very nice catch on the outside for a first down from Jesse Watson, but just change little things. Don't go crazy with it. It can really mess the game up. 2nd and 5. We're going to set up a screen to the outside, and there's the line Morissette, who we moved to running back. Obviously was a receiver. We needed more running backs. He can definitely be in the backfield, but a nice play. It's not going to be working out because it's going to be brought back. Another holding call. Fenimore again, second holding call against him. And now a 2nd and 15. Quick throw to the outside. There's Olstrom with the grab. The big-time Thor tight end. He's got it for the first down. So far, looking pretty good. Like I said, tight end last year was a disappointment. We're trying to make it into a strength this year. And there he is again with a big-time grab. Going up and gets it. First down. We're up to the 6. Rice has only thrown the ball twice. That's crazy. 1st and goal. Quick throw to the outside. Morrison has got it. Touchdown. And that's another thing we have to be this year. You know, I know our offensive line's not going to be much of a strength. And when we come against highly touted defensive line teams, we have to be ready to get the ball out quickly. And that is a great play. RPOs, quick throws. You know, we have to utilize that. That was a great one. And we have a 14-0 lead at half. They have -3 passing yards at half. They have just decided to run the ball. I don't know what Rice's plan is right now, but they're going to have to throw the ball, especially down 14-0. Unless you get some sort of break, they're going to have to do something. Man, the throw, the way the guys' quarterback throw this year, it just looks so much better. It looks so clean. I know people have been having issues with this game. Really, to me, the only issues I've had has been offensive line play. And if you can adjust the blocking a little bit, it just makes it a little bit more of an enjoyable game. As nice move. He had nothing up the middle, and Morissette cuts it to the outside and has got close to a first down. So if you can really do that, clean it up a little bit, the animations seem a little better. I know sometimes with pass breakups, it's a game. There's always going to have some issues, but still, I'm enjoying it this year so far. There's no doubt about it. I just had to work on my recruiting, which was abysmal. I will admit that. It was awful. 3rd and 21. Back to throw, looking, stepping back. That's going to be caught. It's going to be short of the first down. And we're going to go for it. Why not? 4th and 5. Let's give it a shot. I trust in our defense. Bullock looking. And he's going to fire, and he has Nitro Tuggle coming across to help him out. First down and more, all the way down to the 17-yard line. Taj Bullock has looked very solid here today. He's made some very good throws, trying to put this in for another score. 2nd and 13, here comes the blitz. Fires quickly, that is caught. Broken tackle, continues upfield, getting short just to the first down. But great effort there, and a 3rd down and 1 as Fagan's in the backfield. Let's hand him the ball, and he's going to be stuffed. This Rice defense up front's been very good against the run, so 4th down and 1, we're going to go for it. Switch back to a run up the middle, see if we can get it this time. Fagan's got it up the middle, and he barges through. Enough for the first down. New set of downs to the 3. 2nd and goal now from the 6-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Fire quickly, but it is caught. Touchdown, Jesse Watson. Goes up and gets it. Pulls it down for the score. And we got a 21-0 lead right now on Rice. That was a, trust in your receiver. Not the greatest throw. Defender is there, but he just goes up and gets it. Snags it out of the air for the touchdown. Okay, we get a defensive stop, and now Ben Washington, freshman quarterback, comes into the game. As we hand in to Denylon Morissette, and he is looking very good here today. Caden Fagan's been shut down a little bit, but Morissette, 4 carries, 30 yards, has that receiving touchdown. He's looked solid. Gonna roll out. Washington looking. fires. That is caught. Jesse Watson today is impressed. And this is what I'm looking for. You know, guys to just step up, make some plays. We had so many problems last year with the receivers hanging onto the ball. And this is what Ben Washington can also do. He has got some speed. He can take off, picks up 10, first down, but I'm impressed with Watson so far. He has looked very good. But a 3rd and 13, lobs it perfectly. That one is caught. First down, Tramar Harris with the reception. He's got 3 catches here today for 32 yards. As we move into the 4th quarter, 3rd and 6. Here comes the blitz. Gets it out, and that's going to be dropped. Oh, he can't hang on to it, Morissette. He would have had the first. It is incomplete, but we're going to go for it. 4th down and 6. Man in motion is Watson. Washington to throw. Looking. Fires it. Is caught by Watson, but 2 defenders there. Maybe not the right decision. It's a turnover on downs, but honestly, the way our defense is playing, I don't think anything's going to happen. Oh, man. Marquise Nicholas has been an absolute monster today. He just absolutely laid out Devontae Fitzpatrick. What a hit. He has been all over the place. We missed it this time and around the edge. Tyvon Bars, big time running room. I thought we were going to push him out of bounds, but we completely missed him. What happened there? Biggest play of the game here for Rice. They just can't even throw the ball. C.J. Madden with the sack. Even when they try to throw the ball, it just does not work out. How many passing yards do they have today? This time we bring a full-out blitz. Come through. Smiley Bradford gets there for the sack. And a 4th and 15, I would suspect they would probably go for this one here. You have really no choice. So 4th and 15, you got to throw the ball, which has not been their strength here today. And he's just going to toss it up one-on-one, and we knock it away. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. Our pass defense has been very good today. As we'll see what more of Ben Washington here. See if he can close this one out. Oh, we got a little rub there. Kind of accidentally, but caught by Nitro Tuggle, which puts him over 100 yards here today. RPO firing this to the outside. That has caught Tramar Harris. He's got a first down. Put him down to around the 13-yard line as Ben Washington has looked solid here so far. I like what I'm seeing. 3rd and 7. Trying to get this one in for a score. As Morrison hangs on to this one. He is just a tad short. Just short there. 4th down and inches. I thought he was going to have it there. As we're just going to sneak it forward with Washington in for the first down. And now, 1st and goal from the 2. Just a QB power right up the middle. Ben Washington is in for his first touchdown as a Purdue Boilermaker. And hopefully we see much more of that to come in the seasons because true freshman has a lot of talent. I'd love to see what he can do with this team. Take us to, who knows where we go. But that would be your final 28-0 here today. We shut out Rice, who throws the ball only 6 times the entire game. 6 times. I mean, I understand if you're like a triple option team, you're like an Army or a Navy, or you're kind of like an old school Georgia Tech, but 6 times. They didn't even attempt to really throw the ball. It's crazy. Bullock 16-21, 199, 2 touchdowns, looked very solid. Running the ball today was a bit of a struggle. Morissette looked very good. A couple of those runs were just move-based, but like Fagan, it was a struggle up front, and I think that's the one issue we're going to have. And our offensive line just isn't there with run blocking at the moment, so we'll see. But receiving, I liked what I saw. Tuggle looked good. Ostrom looked good. Jesse Watson, fantastic catch in traffic, and Tramar Harris looked very good. So I'm very happy right now, I would say, with the receiving game and the tight end. I mean, Burnham had 3 catches as well. So if we can get any of these tight ends involved, that would be great. We did get a lot of pancakes. That's good to see. But Marquise Nicholas, 14 total tackles, 10 tackles for loss. 10 in one game. The dude was a machine today. Miles Mitchell would add 2 sacks to the end. C.J. Madden had 1. Bradford and Seabrooks had the 1. But 10 tackles for loss. That is absolutely insane. All right, look at recruiting. Jamison Dumaine, we're number 1 at the moment, reaches his top 8. top 8 for Soro. We're good. Qualls, top 8, we're 1. And then Gammon, top 8, we're number 2 behind James Madison, who's had a solid lead right now at the moment. So, yeah, we moved Gammon up for sure because, you know, is he going to play with Ben Washington, though? That's the real question. But as a gem, you're going to have to give it a shot. And, yeah, I mean, I know last year with the Arkansas Dynasty, you could never have enough quarterbacks. You just never know how things are going to work out. So, we'll see what we do there. Shelley, we're going to add, we're definitely going to give him the 50 hours for sure. Stumpfer up there. Bender, we're at number 2 at the moment, getting close to the just into the top 8. Maybe we can finish scouting here. So his safety valve is an ability, 84 speed, 84 acceleration. We only have 1 motivation at the moment. 220 hours left. We'll do contact friends and family. We got to make sure we get some running backs for sure. That is no doubt about it. Let's just do DM the player for Theo Gammon at the moment. I think we can catch up to James Madison on that one. Legend Hogue, what a name. Should we finish scouting with him? And he's a gem. He is a gem. 85 speed, 84 acceleration, looking good. Definitely offering the scholarship there. We'll just do DM the player. We'll have to get up his board up for sure. Jamison Dumaine, the corner. 87 speed, 92 acceleration, which I like. The man coverage, not the greatest. 67 zone coverage, but that can definitely improve. But, I mean, just add some sort of athletic ability to the corner position will not hurt us for sure. I mean, Horner doesn't really have anything at the moment. Not sure if I want to offer a scholarship. I guess we'll offer a scholarship right now. Just put in 10 for sure. Don Bryant right now have the lead. The raw strength right tackle. Let's take DM off there. And let's do contact friends and family. Like I said, I want to prioritize definitely some offensive linemen. There is no doubt about that. Keenan, we probably should move up the board. But we'll do that. Contact friends and family. Give them 25 hours. DeAndre Jones. Washington, Arizona looking like they have a solid lead on that one. So this is one of those interesting ones where we don't have much in the way of, you know, the tiers over there with our pipeline. So I'll have to look at that one. I might have to take him off the board with Washington, Arizona starting to lead. It might not be really worthy of our time. I'll go maybe one more week, see what happens. If not, I will just take him off our board. There's probably no reason to really have him there. Teray. 85 acceleration. We'll offer him a scholarship. We're number 5 at the moment. 86 speed, 73 short route. Recoup. I would like to probably finish scouting these guys sooner rather than later, just to see what we got. Do we have all of his motivations already? Story, or we just have 2, but still. Pretty solid. 5 hours left. Let's just take that off, and then we can do DM the player. All right, that's pretty good right now. And then we can sim through this bye week to get into week number 2 and see where we stand with a bunch of these guys. So you can see, I guess Kite would be probably the way you pronounce that name. Obviously, there's no N, so I would think so. But so far, looking good. We're first and second and third with a bunch of these guys here to begin with, and a lot of them reached. You can see down below, have reached their top 8, but the top 2 guys, Kite and Heflin, have reached their top 5. So at least we're in the top 5, looking pretty good there. I just don't want to lose out on these guys at the end, so we're just going to have to very concentrate. Like I said, we only have, 24 prospects on our board at the moment, so I think that's good instead of, the 30-plus that we had last year, and it just, with the hours that we have, it's just so tough. But looking at the top 25, Texas A&M, Penn State, Oregon, Georgia, Pitt, Duke, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Clemson. You got Bama, USC, Texas Tech, Louisville, and BYU that round out the top 15. Nobody has lost yet, except you can see just there, South Carolina lost to Miami, who now moves into the top 25, and so does Tennessee after demolishing a FCS team in Michigan right now at 23. Obviously, defending champs are Penn State, who we'll see later in the season. But that will be the end of this one. Good start to the season. We'll take on Marshall this coming up week. Hopefully, recruiting gets a little bit better. Hopefully, we actually can bring in some good talent. But so far, I like what I'm seeing. And hopefully we continue next week against Marshall and continue into the rest of the season. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more. I will see you in the next one. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.